Welcome, Panther fans, to another edition of Panther Preview. Coach went over to Biloxi, come home with a win.
99th meeting of the Panthers and the Indians, and to be able to come out of there with a win was phenomenal for our guys. Biloxi's a quality ball club, and we had a lot of guys that were injured, and so we had some other guys step up and take their place. I mean, just start out on the defensive side of the ball. Deshaun Litt, Antoine Price had phenomenal games at linebacker. Jared Loper stepped up in the middle, led the team in tackles, had a really good night for us. And then you can't talk about defense this year at Pascagoula without talking about Wyatt Henderson at one end and Sebastian Ford at the other.
Absolutely.
They had phenomenal nights, but also inside, you had Joe Green came in, did a stellar job. Ferron Taylor probably had one of his best finishes to a game of his career. And those two guys, they did really well. And then on the back end, Tylen Wilson, Jay Webb, along with Jay Fournette back there on the back end, just did a really good job along with Jason Payne. Because their receivers are really good. It was quite impressive for our guys to be able to get on top of them and stay on top. And they had the one big passing play where they were able to score a touchdown. But other than that, our guys really found themselves to be in really good position to make plays on the ball.
Defense played well. Just don't take nothing away from that offense. I tell you, they look good at times.
First time I think all year that we've really played 4 quarters offensively, and it wasn't always pretty, but it was effective, and we were able to run the ball. I think we ended up rushing for a little over 100 yards for the night, and then receiving wise or passing, I think Silas was able to throw for just under 300 yards of passing. I think 296 was the total. And so that's just a phenomenal job. Our leading receiver was Chris Campbell. Did a really good job of catching the ball out of the backfield and getting to the edge and breaking some tackles and making some big plays. Jacoby and Big Play May, of course, was able to get another touchdown, as was Bruce Freifogel.
May was able to get that hand down. Keep his balance, and that was huge right
He
there.
does that in practice every day.
Well, then you see it. I don't see it every day.
It's not like that's something new, but he really works hard at the yak. Yak is kind of his deal. He likes to yard after the catch.
Yak. Yeah.
Can you get yards after the catch? Brian Barnes Jr. was able to make a catch, turned a 5-yard hitch into a 16-yard gain. It was good to see him back on the receiving end of a pass on Friday night. And then Amari Jackson in the backfield just shouldered that load, spelled a little bit by Jay Webb, but was able to shoulder the load for 88 yards and a touchdown. So they just did a really good job, and our offensive line protected, gave us enough time to get the ball out. And so overall, just a really good team win for the Panthers on Friday night. Propels us to the close of our pre-region schedule, which is the equivalent of the NFL preseason. It's now over. We're 4-1.
Good to be 4-1.
It's good to be 4-1. Been a while. So it's good. So we're on intersessional right now, so that means our guys don't have school, so we're able to get out and practice in the mornings, and really we get them out here. We practice for a good 2 or 3 hours, get them home by 10:30 so they can go to their jobs. You can make them a little extra cash during these next 2 weeks, and get some rest and heal their bodies. And the biggest thing for us is just to heal up and be ready for the juggernaut we know that's coming on the back end of this 2-week break.
Before you say that, I want to let everybody know, during the game I had said that it was going to be this Friday night that Picayune was coming in. I was wrong. I did not account for the bye. We do have a bye this week, so it will be next Friday night. Not this coming, but the following Friday night is when Picayune comes in. And we're going to have our hands full. October 6th.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have our hands full.
October 6th, and Picayune's, they're Picayune.
Absolutely.
They don't change much. In fact, I brought a little prop with me today just so everybody.
You want me to hold?
Yeah, you look good as a model, a board model. So for those that don't understand what Picayune tries to do, these two guys right here, this guy and this guy, they're about 300 pounds each, and they get after you. These two guys, these guards are very quick, and their center's very quick off the ball, very adequate. Their number 7's a really good quarterback, and then they've got 2 backs that are as good as any in the state. Got a wing back right here that can outrun anybody. I think he's a state state champion. And we have the wide receiver that's able to get deep and go deep. But they have a tight end right here who's a really good football player as well. But you know, when you line up against them, typically most people try to face them in an under front. So we get up there, and you know, they try to do something along these lines to stop them. And they just do a really good job of blocking. They know their rules and they get after it. And so what they try to do is they try to block down, double team this guy, or they block back on him. You know, they wash down here, they wash down here, they wash down here. If they're inside, they try to wash everything down. They try to create here. This fullback comes and tries to kick the first thing he sees, takes a little counter step, comes in, he reverses out, pitches it, and then he leads up in here. And what you end up with is a lane right here that if linebacker doesn't step up and linebacker over pursues, he's able to cut it back right here. He's able to cut him, block him out right here, and it goes for a TD. We've seen that more times than I can tell you. That's
not fancy, but effective.
We call it the power. And if you don't stop the power against Picayune, you don't have a prayer. You don't have a prayer. So luckily for our guys, they played Picayune before. They understand what the power is, and that's the big focus. But that's not all they do. They can hit you with quickie. They hit you with trap. They hit you with play action. They hit you with slant trap. That's what Coach Alexander used to call it, the slant trap, where they fake an outside toss to the fullback and trap you underneath. And it's just a very difficult offense to prepare for, because you rarely see someone that's in that tight of a formation who has so many different things that they can do off of what they do.
Well, I've said this before, you know, I think it all starts with Picayune, that front line. That front line. They and you know, a lot of places, you know, you be the quarterback, you don't be the running back, you don't want the ball. No, it's an honor to play on that Picayune offensive line, and that's their mentality.
It is.
They're going to move some dirt. We're going to have our defensive front's going to have their best game.
Absolutely, and you know, here's the thing. You know, their offense does a really good job, but what makes them click is their defense.
Yeah.
They probably have one of the best defensive football players in the state of Mississippi, number 29. He's been leading the state in tackles since he was a sophomore, and he's not the biggest, but doggone, he's quick.
And he's all over the field.
And he can tackle, and he's all over. They have number 11, big defensive end, who is just a really good football player, and you know, I think he's committed to Florida. And just a really, really good football player, but that doesn't discount everybody else along that defensive front. Number 3 is really a heck of a ball player. 34 can play. All those guys, 5, 4, they all play really good football. They play team defense, and they bring it for 48 minutes. And they've had a really tough pre-region schedule. Played Catholic High out of Baton Rouge, and you know, that was a real good game for them. They opened up with Brandon, who's one of the best teams in the state in 7A. Were able to beat them 28-21. Beat the Iberville 42-7. So they've really done a really good job in their pre-region schedule. They played Ocean Springs, and that became a bit of a track meet for them. In Ocean Springs, we knew from playing them here that they had a really good, stout defense. But they also have a very explosive offense, and they were able to score some points on them. But they're going to be ready. I know, you know, there's a lot of history between Picayune and Pascagoula, and you know, just you know, utmost respect for their program, Coach Stogner, what he's been able to do. The legacy left to him by Coach Lee is just phenomenal. So, you know, as much as there is that mutual respect between both programs, we're not going into this game conceding an inch. We want to go. We want to play 4 quarters of football, and you know, to be the very best in this game, you've got to beat the very best, and you don't have to just beat them once. You've got to beat them twice sometimes. So
and has been the case in the past.
Has been the case in the past. So we got to go out there and play football. We got to put the ball down, play football, line up, put a hat on a hat, see what happens.
Well, Coach, I tell you, I'm excited. I always say I'm excited because I'm excited about Pasco High School football. But we knew going into this season, looking at to start region, looking at our schedule ahead, to start region was going to be a huge test for us, because the toast of our region, it was Picayune, and to be the best, you got to walk through the best,
right,
as you said, and that's That's what we're looking at.
And now you got, and then you look at our whole region. You got Long Beach, a much improved Long Beach team that just ended their 29-game losing streak, running the flex bone, really, really efficient at it. You follow that up with Hancock, that's undefeated, been averaging 42 points a game, lighting it up all over the scoreboard. West Harrison just dropped 49 on Moss Point, so a really good football team. And then you end that with George County, who's got probably some of the best talent in the state of Mississippi. It's right there in Loosedale, and those guys are really good. They're effective at what they do. They're well coached and they play hard. And so the region stacks up for we got 5 weeks of it. It's going to be a test. Exciting, and our goal is to make sure that we take care of our business and we can enter the playoffs on the 10th of November. And that's our goal, is to make sure we're playing.
Well, if you're sitting at home and you want to go to the game, how do you get the tickets?
All right, so tickets are going to be available at the gate or on GoFan. Remember, it's the 6th of October, so get out here early. It's going to be your first game in October. Home game, we got 3 out of the next 5 are going to be at home, so we end our season with home versus Picayune, away versus Long Beach, home versus Hancock, which is homecoming on the 20th of October, and then we have the 27th, we go to West Harrison, and then on the 2nd, which is a Thursday night, we end our season with senior night versus George County right here in War Memorial Stadium.
Well, that's ready to go. Cards still for sale?
Cards are still for sale. Kids should be getting out, seeing everybody. I know we've been pushing them. A lot of kids are out there. They're going to be available for about another week and a half. Last date for those is October 9th. October 9th, we're gonna shut that down. So just really looking forward to getting those out. Some really good deals on there. Popeyes, Dairy Queen, Trina's. Where else is there? It's all a lot of places that you see. I think Crazy Bees is on there.
Oh yeah.
I think Paradise Deli and Grill are on there. Lenny's is on there. Brady's is on there. All these places that we go and eat all the time. You can give something back to the program and get a little bit back in return. And if you use it like 3 or 4 times, you can make your money back. For
absolutely, pay for itself. Well, Coach, you said October 6th, right?
October 6th.
Panther fans, join us October 6th here at War Memorial Stadium for Picayune. It's going to be one heck of a battle. And remember, if you can't get here, you can always tune in on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. And we at Gulf Coast Project Media will be bringing you the game. And heck, I just look forward to seeing you.